Well, we know between busy schedules, busy lives, stress at work, life can become very hectic and it can be very stressful and it can be very hard to kind of turn that part of our brain and our bodies off. But have you thought about the effect of sound in order to do that? We are hanging out with Mary Lampert today, a vibrational therapist, if you will, and you deal with sound, music in a sense, sound therapy. So sometimes people hear a sound bath, they're thinking, am I getting in the water? Am I putting on a bathing suit? Explain to us a little bit about what it is that you do.
Okay, well, I always like to share a little the science of what I do.
Please.
And I work with your nervous system. Mm-hmm. The whole thing about stress creates inflammation in your body, and inflammation in your body creates dis-ease. So I like to present my work as reminding people that they already have these tools. Yeah. And this particular protocol that I have a passion for is, I use different instruments, which I will share in a little bit. I feel it's really important that we all take the time to slow ourselves down. Yeah. Because after COVID, the fact is we all went into our adrenals, which is fight and flight. Yeah. That is a part of our being, our DNA, and we really need to know that our bodies can't live in fight and flight. Or what my purpose is to help people move out of that. Yeah. That's with breath work, because your nervous system follows your breath. Yeah. And I was actually sharing that humming is really important. Yes. Humming activates a cranial nerve. It's the vagus nerve. So if anyone wants to research this, think of Las Vegas. Go in and Google vagus nerve, and it'll come up. It is a nerve, it's the longest nerve in your body, and it touches every organ. We have to be careful because your thoughts are frequencies. And what you think you become. You become and build your life one thought at a time.
I love that.
And it's really important that we catch ourselves when we're in a loop, something that's less than nourishing. And it's, it's really important that we, have a ritual, whatever fits and whatever we like to do, yoga, Tai Chi, gardening,
whatever that is for you.
Whatever that is go to your happy place. Yeah, I love that. And because your brain will lock into that, and then all that chatter, it's a story. It's a chatter. And so you'll get out of that because you'll now land into something that is actually nourishing you and quieting you.
Yeah, and grounding, I imagine. Now, you also work with a lot of cancer patients. I mean, that's got to be one of the most stressful times in someone's life that they're going through, whether it's various treatments, finances, what the future looks like. Caretakers get involved with all of that stress too. So how do you kind of see and help cancer patients, and have you kind of seen them grow from maybe the first session to after they've done this a time or two?
Well, I've been fortunate to be with the Cancer Support of Delaware for about 4 years now. Wow. And so I offer twice a month in my studio one day. Well, it's every other week, but I've opened it up to cancer patients and or caregivers. That's awesome. And then we do a Zoom. And I feel like, at first, I'm still educating them if they have never experienced it on what it is that is actually happening on a cellular. Just it's almost like a little safety net and to hold them, to hold space for them as they kind of get, because we're strong and we're courageous, and you create your own mantra, so to speak. But wonderful group of people, and they give me so much back. And I'm entrusted with, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this for this particular group.
Yeah, and I'm sure it means a lot to them as well to, have this outlet, have that mantra built or rebuilt, because I think a lot of times for a lot of cancer patients, there was before and there was during, or there was before and there was after, and it's really hard to kind of connect those two. So I'm sure that this sound therapy helps reground them and remember, who you are. There's and as well. So I'm very curious about kind of what this looks like, how this goes for somebody that is experiencing, sound therapy. So we'll get into that. But before we do, could you give people some contact information in case, this appeals to them?
Yes. We're the Cancer Support Community Delaware.org.
Perfect. So if you have any questions, if you've got some questions, you can check that out. But we're going to kind of dive into sound therapy and what that looks like when CoastLife gets back. Well, CoastLife, before the break, we were talking about ways that you can de-stress, because there really is so much busyness and noise, and it affects our whole body, head to toe. And one of the ways that you can do that is with sound therapy. We are still hanging out with Mary Lampert, and you were sort of describing to us what you do, how it helps some of the people that you see, like cancer patients, and how it just kind of reground you. So if you saw behind us before the commercial break, these beautiful bowls, instruments. Talk to us a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Well, they're quartz, crystal bowls, and this particular set is the chakras. So you have, the root, and it's C, D, E, F. So if you could play a song with them.
Right. Okay. Each one's a different note.
But I am not a musician. I'm very organic. I just go by the feel and the energy I'm kind of getting from everyone.
Okay.
And so you have that. Let's say this one is your root, but this is.
Oh yeah, you feel that everywhere, really.
And so. And then I have some of the Himalayan bowls. And again, there's so much history behind this particular bowl. But
it's beautiful.
It has its own kind of little depth. It's totally different than these. And I have wonderful little bells, and I have rattles, and of course my wonderful gong.
It's beautiful.
And isn't she beautiful?
She is gorgeous.
And
robust. But the gongs are basically, one of the oldest instruments, and it's a drum. True.
And people don't really see them as drums.
Yeah.
But ways of communicating deep into history.
I love that.
So, and again, it's entrainment. My job is to connect with you in a little more assertive way.
Okay.
With the room, and then slow it down, because your brain is going to hold and move with whatever the dominant beat is. So if you think of drumming, if you've ever been to a drum circle, and there is that shamanic, history of how the drums sort of move through you.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm using all of the rain sticks, and I have all sorts of wonderful, the koshi chimes, which are elements, because
they're beautiful.
We are 5 elements.
Yeah.
Everyone has 5 elements. And when you think of fire, water, air, earth, and then the ether, you may have a lot of fire element, and maybe what you need, you don't need any more air.
Right.
You may need some earth to get it down, because air wouldn't get the fire
Fan
going.
the flames,
So there's a whole study with tuning forks, and which is another frequency work. I just I'm in love with what I'm in love with.
I can see that, and I think that's wonderful, and I think a lot of people would actually love to see you in action here, Mary, so if you wouldn't mind, we're going to kind of reset and have you maybe kind of walk us through a little bit of what you do, if that's okay.
Sure, I'd love to. I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit of the sounds that you would experience during a sound bath. I always like to start with your breath. So as a viewer, if you'd like to join me and just mindfully connect with your breath, your nervous system is following your breath. And I'm going to share the different tones of these bowls and some other instruments. If you find that you're sliding back into your thoughts, acknowledge that and then go back to your breath.